time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. On Wednesday night, the library was packed with local residents looking to learn about one of the pivotal moments in American history. Civic Center TV reporter Tyler Kieft has the story.
The path to freedom once ran right here through Greater West Bloomfield, part of Oakland County's major role in the Underground Railroad. Recently, residents had a chance to learn about our role in American history from a local expert, finding out that our community's welcoming nature truly has spanned the generations.
I guess I really didn't know what was involved with Oakland County as far as the Underground Railroad. I was a local history librarian in Northville, and I know that Salem had quite a bit there, but I didn't know about Oakland County.
Local residents like Heartland's Al Smitley were some of the over 50 people packed into the West Bloomfield Library to learn about our area's deep ties to the path to freedom for enslaved people in the 1800s. Those connections weren't news to Orchard Lake's Joyce Herman, yet she says our local connections to the Underground Railroad speaks volumes about the character of Greater West Bloomfield.
Well, I've known for several years, and I was surprised at that time, and it's fascinating to me what an activists we were in equality and justice.
West Bloomfield resident Jerry Payton was especially proud to know his town was part of the journey out of enslavement, learning just how far our history connects to the American journey.
Yeah, I feel a sense of pride that was the case. It's a lot better than a lot of places. Their history is not so proud. So, yeah. I would have to say I am. I did not think it reached out to this direction, but it's nice to know that at least historically we were involved in that.
The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society hosted Oakland County Parks historian Carol Egbo, whose research into the county's Underground Railroad connection spans many years and explains to the history buff and the curious learner alike how powerful knowing our community's story can be.
The more we know about history, I think the more we appreciate what this country has been through.
Well, history in general is important, and that's what community is not just the people you're with, but where did they come from? Where did we all come from?
Well, we can gain knowledge, and knowledge is power, and discover within ourselves our own interests in this.
I think what you learn more than anything else is tolerance, that people are different and yet still have similar goals and desires, and it gives you a better feeling of working together.
To find the full presentation from the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, go to our website on civiccentertv.com and our on-demand page, or follow us across our social media. At the main library in West Bloomfield, I'm Tyler Kieft, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate Tyler going out and getting that story and learning about this very important connection to a huge part of history. And you can keep up to date on more Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society programs on gwbhs.org. In case you missed it earlier in the week, Keego Harbor is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Over the years, our team at Civic Center TV has joined the celebration with the people of Keego through some of their most beloved traditions. Let's take a look back at some of the moments we've captured that have helped to make the most recent decades as special as all 70 years of Keego Harbor. A city that is alive year-round. What may be Keego's favorite pastime is joining together. A tradition that for years manifested at their skate and activity nights, providing an outlet for kids and families to meet enjoy a beautiful night out together, and have fun.
Our effort was to bring officers closer to the kids in the community and teach safety and responsibility about skating and wearing pads and just a positive interaction with the police, law enforcement, and the children in the community.
Today, Skate Night has morphed from one night a year into a monthly event, now known as the Kego Harbor Block Parties. A reminder each month that Kego may change over the years, but their neighborly care never wavers.
You know, when you live in a lake community, it's like that's your whole family. The lake community is so different from any other neighborhood, and that's what makes Kego Harbor so great. We have Cass Lake and we have Sylvan Lake all in Kego Harbor. We have the greatest group of people. This is a great way for the community to get together.
Kego Harbor also takes pride in its milestones, from its annual Memorial Day parades to its Restaurant Week, celebrating the people and businesses that make their city vibrant every day. But what truly makes Kego Harbor special is its tradition of neighbors caring for each other. Whether through the Jacket Club, which has been providing necessities to families in Kego for generations, or even their recent Parks and Recreation beautification outings.
I think it's really important for the community to come together and help improve the parks. Kego is a really small city, and so we do rely on volunteers a lot, so it really means a lot for everybody to come together and volunteer to help get our parks better looking. My family grew up on the street actually, and we visited this park all the time, so I think it's kind of fun that we get to help be part of improving it, a park and resource that we've been using for years, so that's pretty cool.
Kego's greatest pride, the tender, loving care for its close-knit community, a tradition that will live on for many years to come. Such a great reflection of 70 years of Kego Harbor, and here's to 70 more years and beyond for this amazing city here in Michigan. Everyone in West Bloomfield is still talking about last week's State of the County address, which Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter gave at the Berman Center for the Performing Arts in West Bloomfield. Several local officials had plenty to say about Dave's speech and his vision for the future.
I was absolutely amazed and gratified to hear Dave talk about the many accomplishments that Oakland County has achieved and where we're going in the future. It just seems like we're building on our future. He set a good foundation. He has everyone working together, and Oakland has benefited from it. The citizens of Oakland, the economy, our credit rating. It is the place where people want to come and live.
I think there was a lot of good ideas. There's the redevelopment, there's the housing, there's the focus on health and mental health, all of the things that really make a county a good place to live. So I think he highlighted some of the assets of the county, the parks, the mixed housing, the economy, and also it's a lot of the growth in the state of Michigan happens here, including the research as well as the jobs. So I think that he was able to highlight a lot of the really good things that are important to making a county a welcoming place, somewhere that people want to live, work, and play.
It's always good to get information out there. Communication is king. It's one of the things that's very difficult to do in organizations or communities or governments this size, is getting the word out, right? I mean, we're 1.2 million people in Oakland County. We had 650 people here, right? And hopefully from what you put out there, we'll reach more people and more people. So getting the word on what's going on in Oakland County, good or bad, it's good for people to understand what's going on.
Dave Coulter's speech covered a variety of topics, from mental health to transit programs to the work of Project Diamond, meaning there was something for everybody in the crowd to take away and reflect on.
I think Project Diamond is this signature initiative. It is where manufacturing is going, and Oakland County is actually taking a lead in that. Manufacturing is moving from the discipline that we used to know. Michigan excelled in manufacturing for the last 100 plus years, but where manufacturing is going, that is becoming digitally disrupted, and that's Oakland County is taking a lead in that by encouraging Project Diamond.
Prioritizing mental health and accessibility is so important, and I'm so proud to say that as we move forward with yet another year, Oakland County is moving towards and forwards with continuing to fund mental health programs in our schools and within our communities across Oakland County.
Well, I think a lot of the business investment certainly will do. You know, our residents will have places to work if they're not already working, or places to change where they're working, and just investment in their own businesses. There's a lot of small business in the township, and they benefit from whatever the county's doing.
One of the things about Oakland County is we are a diverse county. And we value, it has benefited us greatly with the talent, the expertise of the citizens that we have here, and the way everyone appears to get along pretty well, regardless, and that is wonderful.
What do you hope people take away from tonight as they're looking towards the future here in Oakland County?
We're always moving forwards, always looking for new ways to be innovative and meeting the needs of residents across Oakland County.
Plenty to look forward to for the future of Oakland County. You can see that package in its entirety, as well as my recent interview with Dave Coulter himself on our website, civiccentertv.com. The 2025 NFL Draft is quickly approaching, and several big names in college football are ready to make the jump into the big leagues. And that includes some familiar faces with the West Bloomfield Lakers. Names like Jason Williams, Max Hairston, Donovan Edwards, all ready and capable for the NFL. And every single one of them has come a long way since their time here in West Bloomfield. Here to reflect on these athletes and their journeys is someone who was with them at their beginning, West Bloomfield assistant football coach Daryl Bingham. Daryl, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am great. I'm sure you're feeling great too as the draft is quickly approaching. And what does it mean for you to see so many of your former players declare for the NFL draft this year?
Well, outside of sitting back and feeling like a proud uncle, if you will, some of the kids I actually had a chance to know their whole life. So, for instance, take Donovan. I've known Donovan since he was born. His dad is a close friend and fraternity brother of mine. His mom went to high school with my wife at that time. I remember, us working with him and working through the challenges when his mom died at a young age, and just watching him mature into the young man that he's become. I am so proud of him. Max Hairston played for our youth football program for a long period of time. And the great thing about Max actually is probably as good of a basketball player as he is a football player. And to see him make the leap and excel in football at the level that he has, it's just baffling. His NFL combine was, like the kid said, he's about to put on a show, and he did exactly that. And that's the one thing I love about Max. Max isn't a competitor. He's going to give you everything he has. Jason Williams, winning the number of national championships that he's won up there at Fair State in Division II is just phenomenal. So I look forward to when he has his pro day. Jason is a young man who I saw as a toddler on the youth field when I was coaching youth football. At the time, I was coaching his cousin, and his dad would always come out and support his cousin. And Jason would always come around on the field, and I just watched him from the first time he actually touched the football to the time he's gone into college. I'm so proud of him. Comes from an excellent family, very supportive, very loving, and a big football family. So I'm excited to see his journey. And Lance Dixon, I had the opportunity to go down to his pro day at Toledo on Monday, and Lance did a great job. The thing I love about Lance is a hybrid player that, even though he played the outside linebacker, because of his speed, you can move him to the safety position. He comes down and he delivers a great blow on a hit. He could be a great addition. I'd say the last person, Makari Page. Makari Page has probably been the quiet person throughout this time frame, but Makari, is and always has been kind of like a freak of nature, to have a safety that big and to play Division I, and to, Makari has excellent speed. Makari loves to hit, loves contact. And Makari is a young man that he's a student of the game. He's going to sit back and he's going to study everything that he needs in order to improve in the opportunity that exists for him.
Well, you are covering a lot of great players, and you're absolutely right. Every single one of them has had that passion for football since a very young age. And we're actually going to show you a clip right now of Max Hairston when we had him on This Week in Laker Football all the way back in 2019, talking to our very own Dave Scott about some of his favorite activities outside of football and what he takes away from the sport.
I always like to ask this at the end of these interviews. What do you do when you're not practicing or playing football? What do you do with your time for the fun of it?
You got to watch film. I watched 3 hours last night.
There's no fun. It's football season. Well, come on. I mean, don't you like play video games, or you got a hobby or something you do when you're not working on football?
I'll take a break, but I got to get back to the film.
It's always studying that film, and that shows you how passionate he is about this sport. How does it feel to look back and see how much passion these players have always had for the sport of football?
Coming from a program that had to build from the ground up to compete in, as far as I'm concerned, the toughest conference in the state of Michigan, the OAA, and to have to deal with creating a name for themselves, not walking into a legacy, but creating the legacy. I am so enthused by the lessons that they've learned and they've been able to carry with them. And it doesn't just transcend into football, it transcends into everything that they do and everything that they touch. The work ethic, the discipline, the focus, the fact that no matter what I do, I have to become a student of it, embrace it, live it, and work at it every single day. It just does a coach very proud. And I can't say more about the guys. As great as they are as football players, they're better human beings. And that says volumes to the work they put in development of themselves and the family that they have around them, not only blood family, but the extended family that they have around them, and nurturing them to become great human beings.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better myself. They live and breathe football, and each of these players has had a different path to the NFL draft. How did West Bloomfield help them prepare for the next level?
I had an opportunity to talk to Max when Max was in prep, and during that time frame, they kind of shut down from a lot of communication. So it's funny. I just sent him a text and say, "Hey, I'm praying for you, son. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. Just know that we back here at home. We love you and we're praying for you." And later on that night, it had probably about 9 o'clock at night. He said, "Hey, Coach, I'm so sorry I missed your text and I missed your call." He said, "I just want to reach out to you." I said, "I just want to say I love you." And from a community standpoint, that support is what we were able to provide. All the young men, they actually have found trainers. They found their agents and everything to help position them to get ready for this draft. If they needed access to the facility, they definitely had access to it. But for the most part, most of them were away and they were training with other young men who were preparing for the draft to make sure that they had access to a competition level that they would see when they went into their drills at the draft.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have retired assistant coach of the West Bloomfield High School football team, Daryl Bingham, talking about his feelings on seeing so many of his former players make it to the NFL draft and hopefully take the next step into the NFL. And Daryl, as a coach, how rewarding is it to see your former players achieve their dreams at the highest level?
It means the world. We sit back and we talk and we preach about the future and what it takes to get there. It is great when you see the manifestation of it. It's even better when you see them walking in it and embracing it, and in doing it in such a way with class and with style that we demanded of them and that they always presented when they were here at West Bloomfield. And now that they've left our community and we no longer have those day-to-day ties to them, to see that they still walk within the structure and the discipline and the knowledge that has been passed on to them from the West Bloomfield community. I'm just so proud of our boys. I can't say enough about our West Bloomfield kids.
Absolutely. You should be very proud on everything they've accomplished. And what advice would you give them as they take the next step in their careers?
Biggest thing, remember the statement that I would always say to them when we were in practice: from whence come you? Know and understand the responsibility that you carry from the community that you come from, and live in that. Walk upright. be forthright in everything that you do, and commit, and more importantly, we were blessed with Coach Bellamy during that time frame, and Coach Bellamy, with the U of M pedigree and the U of M training, one of the things that he would always reiterate to them: the team. Remember, hey, you didn't get here by yourself. So while you're walking in that pathway, make sure you support those who are walking with you, and also reach back. Be a conduit and a vessel for others who want to gain that knowledge and to gain that wisdom and what it takes to get there, so that they understand and they can see, feel, and touch someone who came from the same community that they did, and understand this is possible, but this is what it's going to take in order to get there.
That's absolutely right. They are impacting every single person they can. And you just touched on it a little bit right there. They're impacting the future players that will play with West Bloomfield. I've got another clip I want to show you. At his signing day event, covered by media from across the nation in 2020, Donovan Edwards gave future Lakers words of encouragement on how they can become Laker greats just like him.
Man, just stay patient, man. Like, when your opportunity come, you got to seize your opportunity, man. Like, as well as that being said, like, you got to come in with the mentality, like, man, like, I'm about to dominate this. I got to dominate, what's going on right here. And it's like, I feel as though, like, as a player of a high caliber, you just got to have the mentality to be the best every single day.
And he certainly has shown that mentality every single game. But that poses a good question. How do their successes impact the current and future players at West Bloomfield?
It impacts in a great way. It's nice to know and to be comfortable and familiar with the legacy that you inherit. And that's what we tell a lot of our players right now, is that your job is to continue the legacy. It's just kind of like, like I say to my sons, you inherited a last name because of birthright coming from my family line, but it is your responsibility to uphold that last name and to excel it beyond yourself. So the young people that come behind them, the young men that come behind them, they inherited the legacy of all the things that all our great players in the past have done, even to the extent, I don't want to leave out this one person because he's probably the first from our community who did it big, and that's Matt Judon, with a lot of the things that they've been able to do. But it is your job and your responsibility, your didactic, your moral responsibility to uphold and to excel it beyond yourself, because there is someone coming beyond you. And when they come behind you, you want to make sure that they have the same character, the same sense of discipline and responsibility that has been instilled in you. As a result of that, we've seen our players, begin to understand, I can do this. And not only can I do this, I can do this at the next level, but I got to commit. And that's one of the toughest things to teach a high schooler, especially in the transition that we're seeing in the college game. When you have a kid where you sit back and you got to help them understand, yeah, it may be tough. You may not be that Division I offer anymore because of the transfer portal. You might wind up going a Division II route and then transferring into a Division I school later on. It helps them understand, no matter what the walk is, stay committed, stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay true to trying to fulfill the responsibility of the legacy.
Spoken like a true coach. Daryl, thank you so much for stopping by with us here on the Splash Live. One more really quick question before we let you go, though. What's some advice you could offer to current high school kids who are looking to make it to the big stage like this batch of players hopes to do in just a little bit?
The path is different. It's not difficult. It's just different now. Like I mentioned, because of the portal, it does change a lot of things at the collegiate level. But if you focus, the one thing that we've learned about professional sports, if you're good, they will find you. Just do your job, and do your job 100% of the time.
That's absolutely right, and they're certainly going to be putting in the work to hopefully make it to the big stage like Donovan, Max, and everybody else declaring for the draft this year. Daryl, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you, and go Lakers.
Absolutely. Go Lakers, and best of luck to all the players as the NFL draft makes its way to Green Bay, Wisconsin in just a few short weeks. Plenty of other big stories and topics to get into right after this quick commercial break. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on The Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Hey everybody, I'm Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter, and I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on surpassing 1 million views on YouTube. That's a huge milestone, and it's more important than ever in this day and age that we have good, independent, local, reputable journalism, and I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on this important milestone. I'm Dave Coulter, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. This weekend, the Islam community will be celebrating the observance of Eid al-Fitr, which is the end of the fasting period for Ramadan. Celebrations have been taking place for the holiday all over the state of Michigan to right here in Greater West Bloomfield. And here to tell us more about the observance is Sheikh Abdullah Al-Mahmoudi, an imam with the Muslim Unity Center. Abdullah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Really happy to have you with us and really interested in getting into this conversation. How does the West Bloomfield Muslim community come together to celebrate Ramadan?
Ramadan is a holy month, is a special month. It's a month that we believe as Muslims our holy book was revealed. It's a time for worship. It's a time for community gatherings. It's a time for prayers. It's a time for us to grow in our faith. Of the things that we do in Bloomfield at the Muslim Unity Center, we have nightly prayers. We have community dinners, community iftars, which we call, where we break our fast together as a community. So these are of the things that we do, how we get together in the month of Ramadan. It's a beautiful atmosphere of just as if you're around your family.
I like that. It sounds really beautiful and peaceful and meaningful for a lot of people. And what are some of the key spiritual and communal aspects of Ramadan that you emphasize in your teachings?
Well, we draw our inspiration from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah mentions in the Quran the purpose of the month of fasting, and that's exactly what we preach to our congregation. The purpose of fasting isn't necessarily to abstain from eating and drinking for certain hours of the day, but there's a deeper meaning behind it. And the deeper meaning behind it is to be more God conscious throughout our life. And the message that we've been communicating to our community at large is exactly this, that if we are able to put God in front of us in all of our affairs, it would be a beautiful world. It would be a beautiful place.
Really nice words. And can you describe a little bit on how local mosques and Islamic centers in West Bloomfield are supporting the community during the month of Ramadan?
Absolutely. We are encouraged, and it's emphasized in Islam, especially in the month of Ramadan, to be very generous with our time, generous with our wealth. One of the obligations that we actually have as Muslims is to give in charity. And we typically give charity on an annual basis, and majority of us give our charity in the month of Ramadan. But in addition to this, towards the end of the month, one of the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which we practice upon, is in order to have everyone enjoy their celebration. There's a charity which is prescribed to give to those who are less fortunate. And this is specific for the holiday. So prior to the holiday, for example, this year, we partnered up with a local organization based out of Detroit, Muslim Family Services, and they were able to gather boxes of dry food items and give to about 250 refugee families within the Metro Detroit area. And this will, of course, help them come the holiday this weekend, put a smile on their faces, take that burden off a little bit from their families, allow the family to have, nice meals and traditional meals and cultural meals and enjoy.
Sounds like a great practice. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Sheikh Abdullah Al-Mahmoudi joining us right now from the Muslim Unity Center, talking about the observances through the month of Ramadan and the observance this weekend of Eid al-Fitr. And how does the community prepare for that holiday, Eid al-Fitr, and what are some of the key traditions that are observed?
Well, one of the unique things about Eid, although it's a holiday for us, the way that we celebrate our holiday is by giving thanks to God. So typically as Muslims, we pray 5 times a day. On the day of our celebration, there's an extra prayer which is added. So, it's a sense of that although we're happy, although we're celebrating, although the children are running around, all of them have sugar rushes because, candies, there's no limits on candies on the day of Eid and desserts. But there's a sense of showing gratitude to God as well. There's a sense of we have a prayer that an extra prayer that we pray on the day of Eid. Of the things that we do, many individuals, they spend time with their families, with their loved ones. We spend time as a community together. We have community celebrations on the day of Eid. So these are the things that we do.
Wow, interesting. I'm learning a lot about this holiday and how people celebrate it and observe it. And are there any public or interfaith events in West Bloomfield that welcome the broader community to learn about and celebrate Eid al-Fitr?
Yeah, our center is always open. We welcome everyone. Everyone is, we have an open door policy for our events. We did have throughout the month of Ramadan, around Metro Detroit actually, there were multiple different events that were held. We held an event at the Muslim Unity Center. We had an interfaith iftar. Iftar is when we break our fast. We had many clergy members that came, many individuals of different faith traditions that attended. We had individuals from the city, from the county that also attended. So it was a beautiful gathering that we had. And this is all throughout Metro Detroit area.
I'm so happy you just touched upon that because even though Ramadan is coming to an end very soon for this year, there's still things people can learn for next year. And how can non-Muslims in West Bloomfield respectfully support their Muslim neighbors during the month of Ramadan?
Honestly, learn about it. Education is power. Your neighbor is a Muslim. Perhaps your coworker is a Muslim. Perhaps.
Okay, it looks like we're having a slight audio issue with Abdullah. We're going to work through that in just a moment, but we are here talking about the observance of Ramadan throughout the West Bloomfield community and learning about what this holiday can bring for people in observance and learning about the holiday of Eid al-Fitr. We're going to work out some issues with Abdullah in just a moment. We're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to figure this out and get back with Abdullah in just a moment. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Hi, I'm Marcia Gershenson, and I'm one of the Oakland County Commissioners that's lucky enough to represent West Bloomfield. And I'd like to congratulate Civic Center TV on having 1 million viewers on YouTube. I mean, that's incredible. Your viewpoint and your authenticity is so valuable. So congratulations on 1 million views. I'm proud to be one in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, talking about all the biggest events and practices right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Apologies for the quick technical difficulties before the break, but we are back with Sheikh Abdullah Al Mahmoudi talking about Ramadan celebrations here in West Bloomfield. And we're talking about how people, non-Muslims, can observe the holiday and support their Muslim neighbors.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, apologies for the technical issues, but as we were talking, how can the broader community, the non-Muslims within West Bloomfield area, support their neighbors, support their friends, support their colleagues and their classmates? I was touching on the point of educating, learning about Islam, learning about what the month of Ramadan is. Ramadan is more than just a month of fasting. It's a time of deep spiritual reflection, self-discipline, renewal of an individual's connection with their Creator. It reminds us of the values of patience, of gratitude, of empathy. The idea behind the month of Ramadan is that the way that you enter is not the same way that you exit. The way you enter, when you exit, you should be in a better state. You should have learned how to forgive others, how to reconcile between others, how to extend love to one another, how to kindle a more understanding and a more united, how to live a more united life. These are the lessons that we learn throughout the month of Ramadan. So educating yourself within that, and education goes a long way.
Wow, that's something that everybody can take away for the month of Ramadan. Abdullah, I want to thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live. I've got one more question before we let you go, and I think you just touched upon it a little bit in that last response, but what message do you have for the wider community about the importance of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr in fostering unity and compassion?
Well, if I was to put it very simply, and this is exactly what I've been preaching to my congregation, the power of unity. We unite together for an entire month in prayer and fasting. We hold hands, we stand together, we break bread together, we pray together, we laugh together, we cry together. We get to know each other. And it's a beautiful atmosphere. And everyone comes to the realization that, hey, we're not much different than anybody else. Each one of us is exactly the same as a creation of God. So that's the exact message that I would leave the broader community with as well.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Abdullah, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Love getting into this conversation and learning about the importance of Ramadan and the celebrations that have been taking place all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. We've got plenty of other great stories, one of which coming up soon is with Fusco, Schaefer, and Papa's, which have significantly contributed to nonprofit projects throughout Metro Detroit, including recent work at Jewish Senior Life in West Bloomfield Township. Trauma-Informed Design Specialty, FSP, has carved out a niche in trauma-informed design, an approach that transforms spaces to support healing for all of those who have experienced trauma and helping them through this very difficult time. And here to tell us more about the topic is the president of Fusco, Schaefer, and Papa's, James Fusco, joining us right now on the Splash Live. James, good morning.
Good morning. It's Jim Pappas.
My apologies. We have Jim Pappas joining us right now on the Splash Live. My apologies. But can you explain what trauma-informed design means?
Trauma-informed design is a philosophy of designing buildings to assist in the healing process. And that process philosophy includes utilizing natural light, views of nature, warm interior finishes, things like natural wood, and providing the residents with control of their space so that they can control the lighting and the heating and access, for example, and maintaining a space that is safe and secure.
Interesting. And why is it particularly important for community spaces like Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, it's important for all spaces that you might have. You know, it creates a sense of well-being and that healing process, whether it's a care community or a hospital, that type of space. It just gives you a good feeling. It's really good for any environment that people live in.
Awesome. I like how it can help lift people's spirits and get them in the right mindset. And what inspired Fusco, Schaefer, and Pappas to specialize in trauma-informed design?
We always worked a lot with senior housing, and that over time led to senior care communities where the residents needed this type of environment. Over time, it included child care facilities, housing homeless individuals, housing refugees. So this really provided our clients with environments for their residents that improve their quality of life.
Absolutely, I would say so as well. And your recent project incorporating trauma-informed designs to Jewish senior life, how have those principles benefited its residents? I think you just touched on it a little bit right there.
Well, we did, and we worked, in fact, for Jewish Senior Life, we were involved with the Mir Apartments, with Heckman, the Brown Center, as well as Fleshman. Over the years, we've been on that campus quite a bit. And we've tried to incorporate this philosophy of design into all of our work.
For those just joining us right now, we have Jim Pappas, the president of Fusco, Schaefer, and Pappas, talking about the trend of trauma-based design and what that's been doing to places all throughout Greater West Bloomfield, including Jewish senior life. And Jim, how has that focus on trauma-informed design evolved over the years?
It has evolved, you know, initially, as I mentioned, it started out with us working more with seniors, and then that moved into areas of child care communities, facilities and communities to house homeless individuals, as well as even refugees, so that it really has developed from kind of just the senior environment to a lot of other areas that it's very appropriate to.
Can you share an example from another one of your projects and explain how its design helped support its occupants' emotional and psychological well-being?
Certainly. One of the recent projects that we completed was the Pope Francis Center in Detroit that houses homeless individuals. And again, trying to use natural materials, large windows in their living spaces so that we have a lot of natural light and views of nature, individual control. So all the principles that I mentioned earlier, we try to incorporate into those designs, as well as other projects recently that we worked on for Vista Maria in Dearborn Heights, and they provide care for children that have been young girls specifically that have had extensive trauma in their life. Another one is Christ Child that houses young boys, again, that have experienced extensive trauma in their lives, and trying to create a healing home-like environment so that to nurture these individuals back to a healthier lifestyle.
Wow, sounds like your work is spreading all throughout southeastern Michigan, helping so many people in the process. And Jim, how do you collaborate with local nonprofits and community organizations to ensure that your designs meet their unique needs in communities such as West Bloomfield?
We found it's important working with nonprofit organizations. Oftentimes, they don't have the in-house professionals that you would have for example, as a developer. The professional developers develop for a living. Oftentimes, these nonprofits do what they do extremely well in caring for the individuals that they care for. But we try to assist them in the entire development process and work with them closely so that their final product that we achieve with them meets all their visions and goals.
Awesome. Great to hear about all the work you're doing throughout Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Jim, I got one more question for you before we let you go. Looking ahead, what do you see as the future of trauma-informed design in Greater West Bloomfield and other local communities?
Trauma-informed design, as I mentioned at the beginning, really is important in trying to create a healing environment. But as you look at the principles of trauma-informed design, they can really be utilized in any type of environment that, in the workplace, in your home, anywhere that people conduct their, day of life activities, that these same principles create a wonderful environment.
Awesome. And they're making a wonderful environment for so many people. Jim, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake. I really appreciate it.
Really happy to have you with us and really interested in hearing about this design trend that has been making waves all throughout Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Can't wait to see what's to come in the future. This weekend at the Janice Sherrick Gallery in West Bloomfield, the Chroma Art Gallery will be opening up to the public. Chroma, curated by Kim Fay, features artists who use color in unique and intentional ways. With a selection of invited artists along with an open call to the community, this diverse exhibit explores color's purpose, diversity, and power within art. And this exhibit will be open from March 30th, this Sunday, to May 7th. And here to tell us more about the event is the curator for the event, artist Kim Fay. Kim, really happy to have you with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Really fascinated about this art exhibit that's coming up soon, Chroma. What inspired you to create Chroma, and how did the theme of color come to the forefront?
Well, Natalie, who's the gallery director, approached me about this idea almost a year ago. I'm in my studio, so as you can see behind me, I actually don't use a lot of color. So the concept of color, its use in terms of intention, deliberation, to deliver a message or a narrative, that it's used purposefully and mindfully versus just, smearing color around for color. The artists that we chose for this exhibition do that. I mean, they use their color in a very purposeful way. Scheherazade Washington Parrish uses. She's also one who kind of goes to absence of color, and then the little bit of color that she does use has a very specific purpose to it. Relates to some of her cultural experiences and things like that. Ivan Montoya uses a lot of color in very unusual ways, kind of provokes the viewer to reconsider the images that he's presenting in a new and interesting way. A lot of his color choices relate to his cultural background as well. I know I've seen a lot of his work where the paintings themselves employ oranges and reds and these really hot colors, and you almost have a visceral response to it where it feels like the temperature in the gallery increases just based on the color that he uses. What's really exciting about this exhibition is the artists that were invited were invited purposefully, intentionally with this in mind. But also the call for art has been very exciting in that the people who've submitted their work were just as talented. I mean, I feel like both levels are really exciting and very talented in what they've brought to the show. So I'm really excited about it. It's getting a lot of buzz, and I think it's going to be great.
As it should. Sounds like there's a lot of very talented artists that are going to be at this event with Chroma.
Yes.
And how do you go about selecting the invited artists, and what drew you to their use of color?
Well, I've been a part of the art community here for about 30 years, and I know a lot of them. I'm very aware of their work, and because of my particular predisposition to manipulation of color in order to deliver a particular narrative, I'm very aware of the artists who use color in a similar way. So it wasn't real difficult. Actually, it was harder to narrow the list of who we wanted to invite than having to, worry about coming up with enough people. So I was very excited to invite who were invited to the show. Clinton Snyder uses a really he does very almost pedestrian sort of imagery, but the way he turns it into a personal is for sure on about his palette. He has a very unique palette. So I'm very familiar with most of these artists. We've been friends for a long time, and it wasn't really that hard to come up with a list. So
it just shows how much of a popular event this showcase really is. And what role do you think color plays in contemporary art, and how does Chroma properly reflect that?
Well, I'd say recently what I've noticed in terms of contemporary palettes are a lot of it's coming from street art. So often the palettes used, I would say more, recently are very bold, loud colors with hard black lines and things like that, which we are including some work that falls into that category. But I think it also overlooked some of the artists that employ color in a more subdued, quieter way. You know what they say, if you want to get someone's attention, say it in a whisper. So there's something to be said for loud, bold color, but there's also something to be said for the quieter implementation of color that a lot of times can be more powerful.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Kim Fay, artist and curator of the Chroma art exhibit that's going to be making its way to the Janice Sherrick Gallery on March 30th. And several invited artists are going to be making their appearance as well, a lot of their works. And many of the invited artists are Detroit-based. Do you think Detroit's art scene has a unique relationship with color?
I don't know that there's a specific palette that relates to Detroit, but there's definitely a narrative that relates to Detroit. I would say that. And color certainly fits in with that culturally in terms of implementation of color. Detroit is super hot right now on a number of levels, and one of them is the arts. I mean, we certainly are known for music and jazz and, hip hop and that too, but the visual arts have become so very exciting and very interesting in terms of what's happening here and our personal narrative as Detroit artists and what it means to be from Detroit. How that interprets into the art. Of course, it gets into the art. I mean, I think any art that's any good at all is very personal. So all of these artists are local. Every single one of them is local, and they're using their personal cultural language in the work in the show. And so it makes it even more provocative because it is so personal and definitely relates directly to our experience with each other and then with the city as well.
Wow, a lot of great relationships with the city of Detroit to this exhibit.
Yes.
And as both an artist and a curator, Kim, how does your own artistic practice influence the way that you create exhibitions?
I'm pretty fastidious about my own work, and I know how difficult it is to really make a good piece of art, and also to be able to communicate a message in a very intentional and effective way. So I observe of the artists that I know or spend time with. I'm very cognizant of those that follow that same visual journey. I really admire those artists that are able to do that, are able to communicate their message or their story in a way that's effective, and then their use of color, of course. And like I said, my work really is about absence of color. And I want to hurry up and add that when you employ a limited palette, you really now have to rely on your skills, your drawing skills, your compositional skills, all these other skills. You can't lean on color to get you out of a bad composition. You really have to know what you're doing in order to do that. And I really admire the artists that do that. So.
As you should. I'm sure these artists, I can't wait for the West Bloomfield community to take a look at all of this art up close. Kim, we are running short on...
everybody comes out, not just West Bloomfield, everybody.
That's absolutely right. Kim, we are running short on time. I got one more quick question for you before we let you go. Beyond aesthetics, what do you hope visitors take away from Chroma?
I just hope they really get excited about art in general. I mean, I think a lot of people are, can be a little bit intimidated by art. It can be kind of scary and, that kind of thing. But this is a really super fun show. And the artists that are in the show really are very good at what they do, highly talented. They're very personable, easy to approach, things like that. I'm hoping it'll just open a line of communication, and, we have some connection between ourselves and the community. So I hope everybody comes out, because art's for everyone.
That's absolutely right. Art is for everyone, and this event and this exhibit is for everyone as well. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Once again, the Chroma exhibit is going to be at the Janice Cherrick Gallery from March 30th to May 7th. So plenty of chances to check out all of these incredible artists and how they elevate the theme of color. A local Girl Scout troop is starting an important project in protecting our environment. Our very own Kevin McIntosh has the story.
Girl Scouts Day was recently recognized across the country, and here in West Bloomfield, Troop 77713 is marking the occasion by launching their Silver Award Recycling Project. These young leaders have been working hard to create a recycling hub here at West Bloomfield Middle School, with plans to expand it to the community later this spring. We'll take a closer look at their project, the inspiration behind it, and how they're making an impact one recycled item at a time.
Well, we first started because of our Silver Award, and I really cared about recycling because not a lot of people do it.
My inspiration was I was looking around the school and I saw that a lot of people would just throw away their paper, and I know that in school you get you need a lot of papers, so I decided that one of the ideas would be recycling.
The girls are seeking a Silver Award, the second highest honor in Girl Scouts. After receiving the Bronze Award for their merits, I asked Cadet Reagan Lease what the Silver Award means to her.
Silver Award means doing something big for the community that helps it a lot and is sustainable.
In order for this project to happen, it took the cooperation of their Troop 77713 leader, Kelly Hoffman, and West Bloomfield Middle School Assistant Principal Cindy Carson, who told me about supporting the troop, their project, and collaboration.
It's just incredible. I've been leading these girls since kindergarten, and just to watch them grow and move forward and take on this project has just been inspiring. I've just been here guiding them, and they've really taken the lead and made it what it is today.
Well, one of our missions here is definitely to collaborate and communicate and be contributors to the greater community. So this is a perfect opportunity for these girls to put that into practice by working with the community to get the word out that paper recycling is important. Here we are in 2025. It's still a big deal. And believe it or not, since we've been in this building, we have not been recycling paper. So this is our third year being in the building. So we're super excited to finally bring this on board and make a difference.
With a project this important, there's a lot to manage. Cadets of Troop 77713 talked to us about what they learned during the process and what they hope others take away.
That you really have to get the whole community involved, and it really helps for anyone. For anyone to help, it really helps the community and us for the program.
I learned that there's a lot that goes into making something happen. Making a club, you need a lot of more other people than what you think you would.
I hope they take away that Girl Scouts can do anything and they can help the community as much as they can, and they are amazing.
Recently celebrating National Girl Scout Day, we asked this Greater West Bloomfield troop what being a Girl Scout means to them.
Being a Girl Scout means helping the environment as much as you can, being a sister to every Girl Scout, being kind, and being respectful.
It means that you try and help everyone you can. If you see someone that needs help, you help them, and you're just kind to everyone.
These Girl Scouts are making a difference in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Their Silver Award recycling project is just getting started, and with their passion and dedication, it's sure to leave an impact. From the West Bloomfield Middle School, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate Kevin going out and getting that story. Can't wait to see what these girls do in protecting our environment in the future. But that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests for stopping by and for everyone on the team for the work behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and everything that they do. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.